By the time you're watching this, it's already too late. Because I'm in the middle of editing this video, and some people are already on part 12 of their playthroughs. I work full time. I really can't be that far ahead. I'm talking about the demo, and the game's coming out today. It's my fault. It's my fault for taking too long. Anywho, let's just get right into it. I really enjoyed the demo. I thought it was pretty good. I definitely went into this game and into this like whole playing experience thinking that this was just going to be like a reskin of a Warriors game, but they definitely put a lot of effort into Three Hopes. It's really amazing to see. I'm excited as a huge fan of Three Houses, just to see how many creative swings they are taking in retelling the story of Three Houses, but in a different way. I enjoy how story heavy this game is as well, or at least the demo was. There was a lot of cutscenes. I just think that the storytelling in Three Houses wasn't as effective as it could have been, especially given how much content seemed to be left on the cutting room floor. So I'm glad that those ideas are being given life through this game, and I'm excited to play through it and review the game in full when I have the time. Lord knows when that video will be coming out. Stay tuned, I guess. Subscribe, and you'll get a notification when that happens. It's the best way to know. To start off, I just want to get into the gameplay. The things that I enjoyed about Three Houses are all here, and they're streamlined. Personally, I would have enjoyed a tactical RPG just a little bit more. I've repeatedly said that Musos aren't my thing. I think a lot of them have a particular specific blandness to them. But Three Hopes reminds me a lot of Age of Calamity, which I really enjoyed because it blended Breath of the Wild and Warriors really well. I think the movesets shown off are a little bit unremarkable in some instances. I definitely preferred to play as the magic wielders or characters who just have like elemental visuals incorporated into their movesets like Ingrid or Ignatz, just because it gives you something more to look at. I enjoy that the monastery functions have been retooled to fit the narrative in this game. So like meals and chores are still here to build support points, and the training grounds are like this game's version of tutoring. And it's also cool that you can upgrade the base camp over time with resources to better utilize these out-of-battle mechanics, similar to how like increasing your professor level in Three Houses allowed you to do more around the monastery. Because the demo only shows off the early game, I felt that the gameplay loop was like a little bit repetitive, especially since a lot of characters are geared towards similar movesets. For clarity, I did play through the demo content for all 3 routes, so there was some repetition there just because movesets are determined by class, with some more specific things being determined by the character. So if you're playing similar classes, the characters are going to feel the same. For me, I think this feeling of similarity was particularly worsened because I started with the Black Eagles, and 4 out of the 10 characters that we get, at least in the demo, in that route are magic-oriented specifically, so it's somewhat oversaturated with the same type of character because their movesets are literally all the same. For me, the Blue Lions felt the most balanced in this regard, just because there's not much repetition. There's repetition in the sense that there's multiple Lance users, but they're all geared towards different classes, so they're doing different things. I think I'm going to do a Black Eagles playthrough first because story-wise, I feel like that would be the most satisfying. But I think the Blue Lions offer like a really balanced sense of gameplay. In general, the game looks really good. It plays well, it runs well, and like I haven't experienced any egregious frame rate drops, which is great. I know some other people have. I have not. One thing that I really disliked about Three Houses was that outside of the pre-rendered cutscenes, the game overall just looked quite bad. Like the character models and the backdrops like aren't up to snuff in battle and in regular scenes. In battle, the models are far enough away that the details don't matter too much, but during support conversations or regular cutscenes throughout the game, which is what you're spending like half of the game experiencing, they're really ugly. The ugliness is just right there, ripe for the taking. The textures are pretty low quality, and the scenes don't take place in actual environments from the game. They're performed in front of flat photo renders of in-game settings, which doesn't make any sense because they already have the 3D environments. I don't know, you could interpret this all as like a Brechtian kind of staging if you're really generous, but that's not what they were doing, so you shouldn't. It's just nice that Three Hopes looks like it was made recently on modern technology. I know someone in the comments is going to be like, but the PS5, the Switch has bad graphics. But I don't care. The game looks good. The story, or at least what we get from the demo, is pretty much a condensed retelling of the opening events from Three Houses. I think it was a strong choice to just like really quickly say, these are the things you need to know. If you've played Three Houses, you can fill in the blanks and read between the lines of the specifics without it being so inaccessible to newcomers that those unfamiliar won't enjoy the content. Like, there's a lot of things here that if you're super familiar and you love Three Houses, you're going to be really excited by their inclusion. But I feel like if you don't know anything about the original game, you might enjoy Three Hopes a little bit more. It seems like the storytelling is a lot tighter and they really know what they're doing. Like I said, I did play all three routes. I did Black Eagles first and then Blue Lions and then the Golden Deer. I think I enjoyed the storylines from, best to worst in that order as well. Because the opening of the game has a chapter specifically about Monica, it feels the most relevant when you're playing through Edelgard's route. Plus, like, they commit the coup and declare war on the church much sooner. So there's a lot of character work and political intrigue in that story right off the bat with her taking control of the empire. We see how she's setting up all of her pieces. And by pieces, I do mean her friends' dads to restructure the empire and achieve her goals. So Edelgard just has a lot going on. It packs a really big punch in the opening hours. The reason why I bring up Monica here as well is because it's the same chapter and the same story beats in the other two routes as well, but she just like walks away. So she doesn't really contribute anything meaningful to them besides like, oh, she was kidnapped. Okay. Like it just doesn't matter. It could be any other character. It could be a character that we don't know. And it would feel the same in either of those routes. It's just because Monica isn't important to them. The Blue Lions route is similar in that it's also very heavily political, and we have Dimitri in a position where he has to execute his uncle. So there's like a huge personal stake for our lead character. We also get more behind the scenes, like those who slither in the dark stuff, similar to what we got in the Black Eagles route as well. The Golden Deer, while not bad plot-wise, the route just doesn't give up too much up front. It doesn't lead with a big tragedy or like a huge status quo change right off the top, which makes it feel like it's more of a setup for the rest of the narrative than a tragic backstory. Like Edelgard and Dimitri feels like really huge story beats that influence their characters later and like personal growth and development. There's really big personal stakes set up right off the bat. I think that was the biggest thing missing from the Golden Deer plotline, or not necessarily missing, but was absent. It really felt like a precursor of more to come. I want to do a brief overview of the characters. I don't really have too much to say. Obviously, we know a huge majority of the cast already, and not much has really changed with them because they're, surprise, surprise, the same people. So I mostly want to talk about the new folks, except there's not really a lot to talk about. We don't know them all too well yet. It's exciting. It's exciting that we see a bunch of, the Black Eagle daddies. I love Brother Holst being added into the mix, but we've only seen a few characters. I'm hoping that we get more family members specifically. I love that that's like really my hang up. I really want family member designs. I'm hoping more show up. I want Petra's grandfather. I want Mercedes and Ingrid to have parents. I want to see Claude's parents very badly. And Margrave Edmund. Those are my demands. I would love to see it. I don't know, by the time this video is out, you guys probably already know that they exist, but I'm excited to play through. I'm avoiding spoilers. I'm just looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to see how the Ashen Wolves tie into everything as well. I initially would have thought that it would be similar to Three Houses in that they're just like somewhere and you just ask them pretty plainly and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll join. But seeing how the gameplay feels right now, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a more like narrative heavy story involved way that they become incorporated. I don't know yet. Again, by the time this is uploaded, someone's already fucking finished a run of one of the storylines. So who's to say? I'm sure someone's going to dunk me in the comments and be like, this is how it happens. But I don't know yet. And I'm excited to find out. I really, really like Monica being an exclusive add-on Black Eagles character, especially because all of her content is new content. We don't know her basically at all. I think the non-Black Eagles plot lines would have benefited from adding new characters as a part of the class. like maybe Flane for the Blue Lions and Cyril for the Golden Deer, just to like mix things up. But Monica was also a very easy character to achieve newness with because she already exists in the universe. We're not adding a new character. And I don't know, we're not like stealing Shez's thunder. I know Flane is confirmed to be playable at some point in the game, but there are currently like no signs that Cyril is like literally anywhere. So I don't know. We'll see if he pops up. Who's to say? Personally, I've also always headcanoned that Hubert should have been the one with the crest of Machiel, or that it like runs through his family and he just doesn't have it. But I think it's pretty sweet that Monica does get it. It kind of elevates her a little bit more, and she has something that was like, again, absent from Three Houses. I don't know. I really hope that they managed to do a lot with her inclusion. It seems like she's playing like a secondary retainer role with Hubert. So she's like, you know, an alternate kind of lead. Also, I ship her and Hubert. I think they'd make like a cute rival to lovers narrative.
Nothing to worry about with the two in the job.
I know that for Her Majesty, but I wouldn't mind if it turned into a chance to outshine you.
What better way to results than a little healthy competition?
I just see it for them so strongly. That does get in the way of me shipping Hubert and Ferdinand, but the heart wants what it wants. I don't know what to say. And in the month of Pride, I'm rooting for the Straights. Insane. This is really, really small, but I did enjoy the inclusion of things that were initially like cut content, like Claude's birth name being Khaled. I don't know. I'm Arab. I can't remember how they say it in the game. I just know they don't pronounce it in Arabic. I think it's Khaled or Khalid. I don't remember. Or like that side note that like Cleobulus and Talus actually like being Cornelia and Arundel respectively. That was like theorized, I think, from the previous game. But they're confirming it in this one. These inclusions, to me, they like initially felt kind of fan servicey, but instead, upon thinking more deeply about it, I find that the writers probably just want to have a second chance to tell the story that they actually wanted now that they have a better grasp on the narrative and know what they want to do. And they're very lucky to be in a position where they can tell the same story just again and do it better and have a better editing eye and improve on all those things. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing this. Obviously, I loved Three Houses. It's the game that I have the most hours on. I've done like at least 8 playthroughs, and that's saying a lot because I work like full time. So yeah, I'm looking forward for Three Hopes, and I hope it lives up to the expectations. If you're at this point in the video, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my like lukewarm takes and like slightly shorter form content. I'm really excited to play this game. Stay tuned. Like, subscribe, leave a comment with your thoughts, feelings, opinions, questions, comments, compliments, concerns, and I'll catch you in the next one.